I call this meeting of the Pahokee City Commission, regular commission meeting of Tuesday, September the 27th, 2022 to order at 6:08 p.m. May we please stand for the invocation provided by Youth Pastor Reverend Morrell, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Heavenly Father, we thank you right now for this meeting tonight, Father. Father, you come through like never before, Father. And Father, let it be a clarity to each and every one of us, Father. And Father, this storm out there, Father, let it pass us by, Father. And Father, keep every last one of us safe under your umbrella, Father. And we thank you for this meeting. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Babb.
Present.
Vice Mayor Mervin.
Present.
Commissioner Bolden.
Present.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Present.
Commissioner Perez. City Manager.
Present.
Attorney Weeks.
Here.
Acting Clerk. Present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you, staff. And most importantly, thank all of our residents for being here tonight to participate in our regular scheduled meeting of Tuesday, September the 28th. We have a lengthy agenda, but we're going to be brief. We're not going to cover all the items possibly on the agenda. We're going to try to move through it as quickly as possible so to get you out of here, to get staff out of here, to get ourselves out of here, out of harm's way of the storm. So we'll do our best to expedite this meeting tonight. At this time, City Manager, do we have any additions or deletions from the agenda item?
No, sir, other than since we had no people here to present proclamations and to do presentations, I ask we move that to October 11th agenda for that section E after public comments, and then move forward with consent agenda and see how far down we can get into the resolutions, if you will, sir.
Thank you. City Commission, haven't heard the city managers for the additions or deletion to the agenda. What's your pleasure? I entertain a motion for the acceptance of the agenda as presented with the deletion of presentations, the 4 presentations on the E. We will still do our citizen comments, and we'll try to do the remaining of the agenda as presented. So those are the only deletions right now.
I didn't understand.
Entertain a motion for the agenda.
Mayor Babb, I move to accept the agenda as is, with the exception of moving E to the next regular scheduled commission meeting.
Second. It is then moved by Commissioner Bolden and properly seconded by Commissioner Gonzalez for the adoption of our agenda with the deletion of items E, presentations, to be moved to our next meeting. Call for questions.
Mayor Babb, if it's just a question or a concern, since I know that the storm is approaching and it's not looking good for, I know we're not in the eye of the storm, but we're anticipating bad weather later on, that if we can look over the agenda, if I know the most important part of the agenda is the budget that needs to be approved. I know today is the day that has to be approved through state mandate. That has to be approved. That we can do the budget items, and if the other thing is not pregnant, that we can move that to probably a meeting next week. Schedule a meeting for next week if it's possible. If not, if we wait till October the 11th meeting.
Actually, all the remaining items dealing with the budget, those resolutions, basically that's it. It is the budget.
Right, that's what I'm, okay, so that's what I'm saying.
There's no
So-
other item besides that other than our comments, which we probably can defer to the next commission meeting. That's not an issue. All I'm saying, we're doing what you're asking us to do. We're gonna deal
Okay.
with the budget. That's basically the meeting.
Okay, so that was my question.
Yeah.
Okay, so the stuff here that's under, I know the school board is not here, they're rescheduling also the,
All of those
Village of
items,
Glades.
1 to 5.
Okay.
Being,
all right,
cool.
just clarity, okay.
Okay. Any additional questions? Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Bolden?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mervin?
Yes,
Commissioner Perez? Mayor Bab?
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Motion passed by unanimous vote. Now we'll move down the agenda as presented. The next item on the agenda would be public comments, public service announcements, citizen comments. City Clerk, at this time, do we have any comments or are completed?
Yes, currently we have 3 of them, and the first person will be Ms. Regina Bolden.
Yeah.
Regina Bolin, 366 South Barfield Highway, Pahokee. My comment tonight is I'm concerned why we're even having this meeting. I understand there's a budget that has to be finished by October 1st, but you have Thursday and Friday. The folks that are here, this is not really fair to anybody because they should all be home getting their homes ready and getting their families ready for a hurricane. The governor declared a state of emergency, and we're here having a meeting. I believe we're probably the only ones. Commissioner McKinley closed her office at noontime. Clerk of the court closed their office at noontime, and it really, really bothers me that we're here tonight. I'm here because I live 2 blocks away, but other folks are not. They don't live that close. And you, Mayor, have declared a state of emergency and canceled meetings on numerous occasions in the past. So for you to not do it tonight when we're under a hurricane warning, or under a tropical storm warning, whatever they're calling it, I believe that is a lack of leadership, very bad.
Thank you for your comments. In addition, a comments card, City Clerk.
Yes, the next person is Sharon Colvin.
Last meeting, I was up here and I asked about the sign, this sign. And Johnny had mentioned that it was up there. And this is certainly proof that it was up there. My question, as it says on this, who took it down and why? Rodney, did you take this down, had this taken down? Johnny? Tasha? Did you?
Of course not.
I
Mayor?
didn't. If I could, I would have, but I didn't. Didn't request it to come down. Didn't ask someone to take it down. I don't think it should have been up there in the beginning. That's my comment.
I agree with you.
Well, someone took it down. And Rodney would have to probably know, do you know who told you? Did someone tell you to take it down? Well, someone knows who did this. And this, to me, when it was already up there because of the ones that gave money for this, and then it was taken down. This is extremely, extremely wrong. And I plan to keep on until I get to the bottom of this. But somebody, even with not saying, is lying. When you know, and the Bible says, when to him that knoweth to do good, and doeth it not, to him it's sin. But it also says that liars will have their place in the pit of hell. That it does. So, you know, it's been said up here, transparency. There's not transparency. And I mean, if you did say to take this down, how come someone can't have the gumption to be able to say, I did?
Thank you for your comments. In addition to comments, Carl, City Clerk.
Yes, sir. Last comment is from Mr. Everett McPherson, Sr.
Good evening, Commissioner. This question is not directed to anybody specific, but I would just like to know the first thing, the status of the ARPA money, and also the status of the 9 vacancies that we have in the city. And those 2 questions right now, just curious. And the last thing, the opening of the restaurant. Does anybody give us the status of the restaurant?
Thank you for your questions. And if time allowed, we definitely want to cover those questions you have, Mr. McPherson. For moving on, since Ms. COVID insists on having her answer, and you don't have to do it, I'm gonna put forth a motion, but if it died for lack of a second, then there's no action need to be taken. But I would like to have a vote, and the majority always move our city forward on if this commission would like to have Mr. Brandenburg name placed on that sign. And I don't think anyone directed anyone to take down or do anything to my knowledge, but for the record, I think for those who are concerned about this issue, at least know that majority do favor his name not being on there, or they do favor his name being on there. And that would be my motion, to take a vote on whether or not our previous attorney in Brandenburg name should be on that sign.
All he did.
He may have did a lot for you, but he would be the last person, to be honest, that I would add up there.
Not for me.
Okay. Look at the last year, what happened, and look at
But
that.
you don't go on the last.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay.
Mayor, please forgive me.
Call for questions.
My humble apologies. Let's put it on shutter.
Hearing none, we're gonna call for a vote on those who are in favor of Brandenburg's name being placed on the sign. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Sir, who motioned and who seconded?
I motion it.
A second.
Okay. Mayor Bab?
No.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Commissioner Bolden?
No.
Vice Mayor Mervin?
No.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Vote is 3-1 in favor of not having Attorney Brandenburg's name on the sign. Now we'll move down our agenda. As indicated earlier, we are deferring the 5 items on the presentation to our next commission meeting. The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda item, which consists of the various minutes. We have 6. We'll do them all at once unless someone feel that they want to pull an individual minutes for correction or whatever the case may be. I entertain a motion for the consent agenda item to be approved.
Mayor, I have a motion to accept the consent agenda items in F, items 1 through 6.
Second.
I think you have to say the dates, Commissioner Bolden.
You have to say.
Yes, say each one of the
Each one
dates.
of them?
Yeah.
Okay. July 26, 2022 workshop. July 26, 2022 regular scheduled meeting. August 9th, 2022 workshop minutes. August 9th, 2022 regular meeting. September 9th, 2022
It's
workshop.
actually past the time.
And September 12th, 2022 regular
Actually passed
scheduled
that
meeting.
one down here now. You actually
Have a
passed
second.
comments.
Did you second, Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes, sir.
You passed the.
It has been moved by Commissioner Bolden and properly seconded by Commissioner Gonzalez that we accept our consent agenda item, which consists of the July 26, 2022 workshop minutes, the July 26, 2022 regular scheduled minutes meeting, the August 9th, 2022 workshop minutes, the August 9th, 2022 regular meeting minutes, and the September 9th, 2022 workshop minutes, and lastly, the September 12th, 2022 regular meeting minutes. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Bolden?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mervin?
Yes.
Mayor Bab?
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Motion passed by unanimous vote. We don't have any old business at this time to discuss. Next item on the agenda would be our public hearing dealing with resolutions. First resolution is Resolution 2022-36. And I ask our city attorney, hopefully she can hear us properly.
Yes, sir.
Read the resolution.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee, Florida, adopting a final millage for the fiscal year commencing October 1, 2022 through September 30th, 2023, pursuant to Section 200.065 Florida statute, computing the rollback rate, providing for the adoption of representations, providing for instructions to the city manager, providing for an effective date.
Thank you, Madam City Attorney. City Manager, could you give us a brief explanation of Resolution 2022-36?
Yes, sir. This is to set the 22-23 tentative millage rate for the public, and that is setting that at 6.5419 mils, commencing October 1, 2022 through September 30th, 2023. And that's at $6.54 and 19 per $1,000 of taxable value within the city of Pahokee. The rollback rate then will be set at 6.1617.
Thank you, City Manager. At this time, I will open a public hearing on Resolution 2022-36. Anyone in the audience wish to speak on this resolution, you may stand before the podium. Hearing and seeing none, I close the public hearing. City Commissioners, having had Resolution 2022-36 properly read by our City Attorney and explained by our City Manager, what's your pleasure?
Mayor, I move that we will adopt the resolution, the adoption of resolution related to the final millage for the year 2022-23.
Is there a second?
Second.
It has been moved by Vice Mayor Mervin and properly seconded by Commissioner Bolden for the adoption of Resolution 2022-36. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Mervin,
Yes.
Commissioner Bolden,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Mayor Bab.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Motion and resolution passed by unanimous vote. Now we move to our next resolution, Resolution 2022-37, City Attorney.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee, Florida, relating to finances, providing for the adoption of funding of the final municipal budget of the City of Pahokee, Florida, in the amount of $9,638,585 for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2022, and ending September 30th, 2023, providing for adoption of representations, providing for an effective date.
Thank you, Madam City Attorney. City Manager, could you give us a brief explanation of Resolution 2022-37?
Yes, sir. Adoption of representation. The foregoing whereas clause is hereby ratified and confirmed as being true, and the same is hereby made as a specific part of this resolution. Adoption of the final fund budgets, the City of Pahokee, Florida, whereas adopts the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2022 and ending September 30th of 2023. The final fund budgets are set forth. Final fund budgets, the City Commission finds and determines that the sums set forth in the following final fund budgets are necessary to preserve the public health, public peace, and public welfare of the City of Pahokee, Florida, and are necessary to properly function as a city. There is hereby appropriated for the general fund of the City of Pahokee, Florida, for the above described fiscal year, the total sum of $5,276,632 to provide for the budget of the general fund. There is hereby appropriated from the special revenue fund of the City of Pahokee the above described fiscal year, the total sum of $450,000. There is hereby appropriated from the Henderson Endowment Fund of the City of Pahokee, Florida, for the above described fiscal year, the sum of $250. There is hereby appropriated from the American Rescue Fund Grant Program, the funds of the City of Pahokee, Florida, for the above described fiscal year, total sum of $1,574,000. There is hereby established for the budget of the debt service of the City of Pahokee, Florida, for the above described fiscal year, the total sum of $135,234. There is hereby established for the budget of the Capital Project Fund of the City of Pahokee, Florida, for the above described fiscal year, for the total sum of $1,893,943. There is hereby established the budget of the Marina Campground Fund and the City of Pahokee for the above described fiscal year, the sum of $398,845. There is hereby established the budget of the Cemetery Fund of the City of Pahokee, Florida, for the described fiscal year for the sum of $208,681.
Thank you, City Manager. City Commission. At this time, I will open the public hearing for Resolution 2022-37. Does anyone in the audience wish to speak on this resolution? Commissioner?
Well,
For
I'm
the
a
record,
little-
just state your name.
oh
and
yeah,
address.
Regina Bolin, 366 South Barfield Highway, Pahokee. Okay. Last meeting, I asked for a line item breakdown of this budget. The city manager said that that would happen by the following Friday. it didn't happen until the Thursday after that when we finally got hold of a breakdown. And then, I don't know when the commissioners got it, but I don't know if any of them have had time to talk to anybody about what is in this budget. But one of the things that really bothers me is that there's $217,800 and just $800 that is being transferred to the marina and to the cemetery. Now, I don't really mind for the cemetery, but for $180-some thousand to be transferred to the marina so that people can stay in the campground and at the marina because they can't stay within their budget or they can't make enough money to pay their bills up there, that really bothers me. That's a lot of money. And for us to have to pay to keep it open and pay to have people stay there seems like not very good management of our money. On top of that, I look at the budget and I see where almost every department has a 3.5 cost of living increase and a 2.5 performance increase, except for the cemetery budget. I don't know why, if you're giving everybody else that, you're not giving the people who work at the cemetery that. That doesn't really seem right. It seems kind of discriminatory. They work just as hard as anybody else, any other department. As a matter of fact, they probably work harder because they're up there on weekends and nights and early in the morning. This budget, I'm a little curious as to how we came to the numbers. It doesn't really show, when you look at each department and it says we have this much money and we're splitting it up and we have this many people, the numbers don't match up for how many people are in each department. I know that you split people up and you pay half out of one department and half out of another. But out of the city manager's budget, it has 1.5 people. Who's the half people? I guess that's Ms. Adams. And so where is the other half being paid from? I guess that's a question for you, Mr. City Manager.
That half a person is administrative assistant secretary.
Okay. Where's Ms. Adams? Why wouldn't she be under the city manager's budget?
Is this public hearing where we ask or we wait till they all get through?
It's up to you. If you want to answer a question during her comment, you could. If you want to include it later, you can.
I'll include it later.
I figured that. All of these, y'all know me and you know, I went over this as much as I could in the amount of time that I had it. And you can see that I have highlighted on every page, I have stuff highlighted that doesn't make sense to me. As a for instance, they have down under city manager, they have contractual services. In the past, they've told us that that is the lobbyists. If I recall correctly, we bumped the lobbyists up to $5,000 a month, and 12 times 5 is 60, not 55. Are we bumping them back down? I guess he's going to answer that one later too. Okay. Anyway, each line of this, I believe you have plenty of time. You have Thursday and you have Friday. if we are closed tomorrow, which I understand we're going to be, I think that this needs to be a budget workshop where citizens can hear you explain each and every line item. Is the lady who did this budget, is she here to answer these questions?
She'll be available by 7 by phone.
Not a good that's gonna do us. Okay. All right. So, I don't know what to say. This budget doesn't make any sense, and it's horrible. That's my comment. I'm embarrassed for us.
Are there anyone else? Ms. McPherson?
These comments may not be directly related to the budget, but as a citizen, I'm pretty sick and tired of, sometimes we see things when the shoe is on the other foot, we quick to point fingers. It's time out for us as citizens, as commissioners, as leaders in this city, when we know to do right, to just do right. And when we think about it, even in the past administrations, that was the past commission, everybody, when things was going one way, everything was all good. And I'm not saying that one way or another. And the same thing with some of the commissions now. When we have an opportunity to do right, we need to do right from the beginning. Don't wait till it hits home and then we decide we want to say something. We need to do right all the time.
Thank you. Are there anyone else who wish to comment or make a statement?
McPherson.
Did we do it already?
This is a public hearing. It's for the audience. Hearing no additional comments, I'll close the public hearing on Resolution 2022-37. City Commission, haven't had our city attorney properly read Resolution 2022-37 in the minutes, properly explained by our city manager. What is your pleasure?
I make a motion that we postpone it for another day. This budget, it's, first of all, we got it on Friday, today is Tuesday. It's very confusing, not to mention that all 3 days I spent trying to figure it out. There's a lot of increases, there's money being added that I have no idea what it's for. You have it classified in different categories, but there's no breakdown of what that's gonna be used for.
Yeah.
For instance, there's one here about a daycare. As far as I know, we don't have a daycare, but we have $100,000 for the daycare. And I'd like to know what daycare that's talking about.
We'll be able to get explanation. We have a time frame where this budget need to be approved. If we delay it at any point, we're talking about another 2 weeks because you have to have additional time to advertise when you're planning on approving the budget. So it'll push us back in a critical area. This budget, even if it passed tonight, the same concerns, the same questions, we can address those. This budget can be amended, so it's not etched in stone where we're locked in by this budget, but it do give us the flexibility of being able to change.
If we amend this budget, do we not have to advertise it and go through the first reading, second reading? Don't we have to go through all this again?
No. Mayor, you're correct. You have to approve. Today is the date. You cannot change the date. This is a state mandate today. Those dates cannot be changed.
So why did we wait till the last minute?
Those dates cannot be changed. The budget has to be approved this date because that's the date you advertised it. But you can't amend anything that comes. That's done anyway. That's all it does all the time. You can amend and ask any questions. I would just like the city manager to address the ARPA fund, which one of the questions that was asked. I think we answered that question in the last commission meeting, but if he can answer that question of the total fund, the status of the ARPA fund, that is the 3 point whatever million, and that the 1.5 that you see now is just for allocated for to be used in this budgeted year, but there is still 1.5 allocated for 2024.
I only have
But
one thing to say. Okay. We have a $9 million budget. We're bringing in 5 million, so we got 4. We're using ARPA money, we're using the surtax money. We're using this money, some of it to cover things that should have been taken care of prior to this, and some money that we're allocating to things that we don't even know what's gonna be. What I'm seeing is that it's with, and I'm telling this to the city, to the community. If you do not get involved, I feel sorry for the city of Pahokee, because the same thing's gonna keep happening. Insanity is when you keep doing the same thing over and over and over, and you are expecting different results. We're sitting here with a
Commissioner
budget
Perez,
that's increased.
Let me just say this. We don't have a motion on the floor at this point. We're gonna do a motion, have a second, vote on it, and we'll move forward. It's not a motion. She don't have a, she made a motion and it didn't second. Our motion now need to be whether or not we're gonna be passing this resolution.
But in fairness, she was speaking after that. I was going to second it.
you just need
I
to be
was
seconded.
letting her just say what she had to
Well,
say.
I'm cutting it short until we get a second. If we don't have a second, we're moving on.
Right, well, I'm seconding it.
Okay. It's have been moved by Commissioner Perez and properly seconded by
Right.
Commissioner
Yeah, because
Gonzalez.
Ms. Boland and Mr. McPherson.
Are you gonna continue to interrupt? I'm not sure what are you asking now.
Go
I
ahead,
can't-
Keith. Go ahead, Keith.
Okay. Second by Commissioner Gonzalez to postpone this resolution until, I believe you say tomorrow, that was a motion. Call for question. Hearing none, okay, I'm sorry, go ahead. Question.
Okay, then again, it's the same thing. You guys had a chance to look at this? Did you have a chance to look at it?
I had a chance to look at it.
And you're okay with that? And you too? And you too? So it doesn't matter what,
Why are you making a motion if you feel it doesn't matter?
because I want it on record, because tomorrow, when there is no money left, okay, and when all these things starts to happen, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear from anybody. And I want the residents to see who is doing their due diligence and who is not. Because this, how can you vote on something like this?
In additional questions,
All I'm saying is Ms. Boland and Mr. McPherson bring two good points. To me, I don't understand it either.
Okay.
Mr. McPherson says it too, that let's not make a mistake.
Let me help you out. Let me help you all out, since you want to point fingers. If you go to the city website, you go to finance, you click on finance. When you click on finance, you'll go to audited documents. So you have 10 years of documentation of the same stuff you have before you right now, all the way up to 2020. Now, one of the things, and I can recall, I said to you, we're behind on our audits. We just completed 2021 fiscal year. I do believe I recall that. Now we're getting ready to begin on 21. So when you do, I was waiting for you for this moment. So when we get to this point, I want you to look at this column here, that's page 25, and you can go to every page 25 on the website then you can see that we've had money coming to the city. City's sitting on $6.3 million. We're not broke. We're not mismanaging. I'm just telling you. Right here, this column right here. We had a surplus of 2.3, so we're behind on, because of the lack of a financial director, this column right here. But you guys are hell-bent on saying we're broke, and we're doing something wrong. I'm just trying to get us caught up. I'll be glad when you allow me to do it.
Well, we might not be broke, but we're heading that way, because
Nowhere. I would never let it happen. I would never let Pahokee be broke.
you're spending money in the marina, the money that's already been allocated for that.
We're on the
What happened
question,
to it?
are there any additional questions?
Mayor, Beck, can you just, City Manager, just explain the ARPA, if you could just, Mr. Luke, explain just the ARPA fund so they understand why you have it here, and then where's the other 1.5?
Okay,
That was one of
so
the questions.
I gave out 2 documents. So I received from staff, the one in my left hand, that came from the meeting that they had on Friday the 23rd, where it says, where would you like to see the opera money spent? And then today, I get this one. I don't, they say infrastructure, converting 50 residents that pay city and sewer, septic tanks, and something else. But I'm gonna go on what the group voted on. So it has here subsidy, stipends, down payment assistance, closing costs, building homes, down payment assistance, closing costs, home repairs, and then under infrastructure, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 items. Street lights, signs, storm drains, storm water, sewer, sidewalks, landscaping. Now, the other document I have provided and we modified, I came up with a game plan and say, of this $3.1 million, how will we move forward with it over the next 4 years? So, if you look here on this document here, all I said was for the fiscal year 23, why don't we take half the money and start moving forward with programming and doing things like, for example, COVID reimbursement, Pahokee residents, a limit of 5 per household, $150 per person for the first 3,000 Pahokee residents. Business grants up to first 100 Pahokee businesses over the next 3 years at $5,000 each. Home improvement repairs for the first 100 Pahokee homeowners, $5,000 each. Just those things. I see that there's a comparable. We're beginning to come together. Pardon? So all I did was appropriate something for the fiscal year because we're sitting idle with money. Commissioner Perez, you're right. We have 3.1 million. We have probably almost 800,000 in surtax money. But we got to start spending. Now, I put before you guys, you go back and forth at times. When we look like we're moving forward, it's like you purposely try to sabotage. So I'm trying to understand when I come with a game plan for us as a team. I'm for Pahokee. I wouldn't be here if I wasn't for Pahokee. Please get this through your heads. I am not against you. Quit fighting me. I'm here to help. I just want us to go in the right direction as a team. We need to sit down and say, here is our vision, mission. These things work. We're going to spend these dollars like this. Nothing is misappropriated. I understand some things in the past has been the way they've been, but they're not that way now.
But like this how? Like this how?
If I could,
You put it in the money, you're not telling me how you're spending it. What are you spending it on? I asked for the $40,000 that came to the city, and
Commissioner
nobody's
Perez,
giving me an answer.
at this time, you're out of order. You haven't been acknowledged to speak at this point. Commissioner Vice Mayor Mervin asked the city manager to just give a brief explanation of the ARPA funding. We have a motion and a second on the floor. That motion is to delay, postpone this resolution to the following day. We have a second. We're gonna ask a question. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Perez,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner Bolden,
No.
Vice Mayor Mervin,
No.
Mayor Bab.
No. Motion failed by a majority 3-2. Now we'll move to the resolution itself. I need to have a motion, if that's the desire of this commission, to move this resolution forward for its adoption.
Mayor, I motion that we will accept the resolution 2022-37.
I second.
It has been moved by Vice Mayor Mervin and properly seconded by Commissioner Bolden for the adoption of resolution 2022-37. Call for questions.
Yeah, I got plenty of them.
Commissioner Pereira.
I'm getting to it. Since none of you guys found any questions. Okay. On the expenditures by department, you have the police department, PBSO at 630,000. On the resolution that we're supposed to be voting today, yeah, it has to come out of the surtax. Okay, it says 582,466. There's a difference of $47,534. What is that difference?
So we have events and things, so we put enough cushion in there in case we have some overrun. It's just a cushion. We can be reduced down as we see how expenditures go.
So you're putting that, you're paying them $630,000.
It's a budget.
Excuse me?
It's a budget.
Yeah.
You can budget what you anticipate, or you look at historical data and you see that we've probably spent a little over what we basically budgeted, because there's other things that's not in the contract that we call for them to do events and stuff like that, because their hourly rate for off hours is what, 33 an hour?
It's up to $50 an hour.
50 bucks. So see, that just went up. So it costs additional monies for protection. So we just anticipate it.
So is this the first year that we do this? We have a contract, but we changed the price on it?
We're
You're
not
amending
changing.
the contract.
We're not changing the
And-
price. We're just putting a cushion there. Is that a violation to you to have extra money there just in case we have to reduce it, or we may incur more money?
Well,
I'm just trying to understand.
but this is so that you could understand, because you're planning to put this money, you're planning to pay them with the ARPA money, right? And then that money is gonna go to general fund, which is gonna be with the cushion on it, and then we don't have a listing of what we're going to do with that money.
No. What happens is if we pay forward like we intend to, we just pay what we owe. That's all.
538.
It's so when you have your business and you budget expenditures, you don't always shoot a little higher than normal? I'm just curious.
Well, I try to figure out what it is that I want to put on the budget, and I price it out. I don't just make up a figure.
I didn't make up a figure. I have an exact figure and I padded it.
Okay. Parks, we have 201,125. Where it says parks, what is that for? What those parks, what?
So we're going all night, just bit by bit.
I wanted to do it the other night, but you
No,
said
it's
no,
not gonna-
wait
it's
till
not gonna-
tonight.
We're not gonna go all night on it, but I'm gonna align her to ask a few questions to hopefully determine whether or not she can
Okay,
support it or
okay,
not.
let me ask you this. You guys are expecting me to sit here, be limited to the questions that I have about the city budget, okay? And you're giving me a hard time, and you're telling me this is not gonna go all night. I'm only gonna be able to ask a few questions because it most definitely is gonna go forward. That's fine. I won't ask any questions. I'll just put the budget, I'm gonna put it online for anybody in this city that wants to get a copy. I'm gonna put it, you look at it, and you see if I am right to sit here and ask questions on your behalf, because it's not my budget, it's the city budget. I don't care, it's not my money. I could just say, the heck with it, do whatever you want with it. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't be clear, don't have backup, don't do things right. Do it the way you want to. Keep doing what you've been doing all along. Because it seems like when you try to do right, you get all this backlash. At this time, I don't have any questions. Go ahead, pass your budget.
Any additional questions? Hearing none, you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Mervin,
Yes.
Commissioner Bolden,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
No.
Commissioner Perez,
No?
Mayor Bab.
Yes. Motion passed by a majority, 3-2 vote. Now we'll move to the resolutions. We have several resolutions, folks, that we can entertain, the majority, if not all of them. First resolution is Resolution 38A. It's just 38, I'm sorry.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor. The resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee, Florida, approving the observed holidays for fiscal year 2022-2023 as set forth on Exhibit A, providing for adoption of representation, providing for an effective date.
Okay. Thank you, Madam City Attorney. City Manager, could you give us an explanation? And also, would you read out the holidays, the proposed holidays there for the public?
Yes, sir. On page 98, you'll see Exhibit A. The holidays we're proposing is Veterans Day, November 11th, Thanksgiving, November 24th and 25th, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, Martin Luther King Day, January 16th, 2023, President Day, February 20th, 2023, Memorial Day, May 29th, 2023, Juneteenth, June 19th, 2023, Independence Day, July 4th, 2023, Labor Day, September 4th, 2023, Veterans Day, well, It only stops in September, so sorry. Those are the holidays we're proposing in this budget to cover.
What about the two floating holidays? You don't read that into?
If he's using, I heard New Year's Eve and then New Christmas Eve.
So that'd be the
Oh,
floating.
the two, so commission, it would be, the floating days would be the Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And then the other floating would be New Year's Eve, New Year's Day.
Well, Christmas Day, they all read them off automatically, so that won't be a floating one, correct?
Yeah, it would be that Eve.
It'd be
you
the Eve,
were
not the,
referring to. Yeah.
so New Year's Eve
Oh,
and Christmas
okay.
Eve.
So the only floating is really just Thanksgiving and Christmas, to use those, because that's a
No.
Thursday, and then I don't know what the 23rd is.
No, it'll be New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve. Eve, right?
Yeah, hold on, I gotta look at the calendar.
Yes, New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve.
Okay, so November is the 24th, a Thursday, so then we must be using the one for that Friday, the 25th. Then Christmas, so it falls on the weekend, so with that said, they're giving Friday as a holiday.
Go ahead, Warner.
What Warner said?
Check off speaker.
Warner, you there?
Yeah.
Go ahead, you were saying something?
I finished the holidays. I thought y'all were doing the holidays. That might be behind on the.
Yes, we're doing the holidays.
Okay.
And they were trying to determine the floating holiday. And I guess,
And Christmas Eve and holidays. Christmas fall on. I think Christmas fall on the weekend. That's why it's the 23rd and the 26th, because Christmas falls on the weekend. That means that Friday before Saturday, and that's Monday after Sunday.
okay.
But the basis is two Eve.
Yeah.
Christmas
yeah,
Eve.
Christmas
and,
and New Year, yeah.
New Year Eve.
That's fine.
Okay. We'll entertain a motion.
Also, Mr. Lucas,
Yes,
can they hear me?
yes.
Also, I don't think they closed out the public hearing
You did.
They did.
for the budget.
You did.
They closed it.
They closed it? Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner, we have had resolution read into the minutes and properly explained. What's your pleasure?
Maybe I move that we will accept resolution 2020-238, holidays.
Is it 20? Okay.
Yeah, is that, yeah, 38 for the holidays. For the year 2022-23.
Second.
It has been moved by Vice Mayor Mervin and properly seconded by Commissioner Bolden for the acceptance of Resolution 38. Call for questions.
Who was it? Mervin and Bowden?
Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Mervin?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowden?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Commissioner Perez? Mayor Bab?
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Resolution passed by unanimous vote. Now we move to the next resolution, which is Resolution 2022-39, City Attorney.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee, Florida, approving the Pahokee Middle Senior High School 2022 Homecoming Parade and authorizing the city manager to approve the permit application for the Homecoming Parade, providing for adoption of representations, providing for an effective date.
Thank you, Madam City Attorney. City Manager.
Pahokee Middle Senior High School desires to hold a 2022 Homecoming Parade on October 21st, 2022 at 2 p.m. In order for a homecoming parade to be held, a permit from the Florida Department of Transportation is required to close the roads along the route set forth in Exhibit A of the resolution. Staff recommends approval of Resolution 2022-39, approving Pahokee Middle School High School's 2022 Homecoming Parade permit.
Thank you, City Manager. City Commission, having had Resolution 2022-39 properly read into the minutes by our City Attorney, properly explained by City Manager, what is your pleasure?
Mayor Bab, I move to accept Resolution 2022-39.
A second.
It has been moved by Commissioner Bolden and properly seconded by Vice Mayor Mervin for the adoption of Resolution 2022-39. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Bolden?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mervin?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Commissioner Perez?
Yes.
Mayor Bab?
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Resolution passed by unanimous vote. Now we move to Resolution 2022-40, City Attorney.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee, Florida, for approval of change order number 7 to Resolution 2016-20 pertaining to Palm Beach County interlocal agreement with the City of Pahokee and Exhibit A of the coordination of road and utility construction for Barfield Highway reconstruction project as set forth in Exhibit A, providing for an effective date.
Thank you, City Attorney and City Manager.
This is Barfield Highway change order number 7. This change order is for Barfield Highway reconstruction. The change order is for the compensation to Rizzo site development reconstruction, the removal of ballers and adjusting of the elevations of the existing fire hydrants and valves located at station 35+40. The existing fire hydrants located at this station must be raised to elevate to the new embankment field that will add for the new sidewalks. Also, a station 31, the fire hydrants will need to be adjusted for the new profile as a result of the sidewalk addition. There was no pay item in the contract for this work. Rizzo Site Development is entitled to 100% of the $10,188.29 for the work that will be performed and completed on this project. Budget impact is $10,888.29. An additional 2 days will be granted for this change order. Palm Beach County Water Utility District has granted concurrence of the additional costs and days. So staff recommends approval of this resolution.
Thank you, City Attorney. City Commission, having had Resolution 2022-40 properly read into the minutes by our City Attorney, properly explained by our City Manager, what is your pleasure?
Mayor, I move that we would accept Resolution 2022-40.
A second.
It has been moved by Vice Mayor Mervin and properly seconded by Commissioner Bolden for the adoption of Resolution 2022-40. Call for questions.
One question. It has here that we have been reimbursed, the Palm Beach County Water Utilities have reimbursed the city of Pahokee 1.46. What is that? That came back to the city for this project? Is that what it is?
You able to answer that, City Manager?
I'll be back.
Nature calls, you gotta answer the phone.
Well, I guess it. Gotta go. Well, Deputy City Manager, can you answer that so we can go on with the meeting? The 1,046,000, is that reimbursement back to the city of Pahokee?
Yes, so with Barfield Highway, Palm Beach County Water Utilities has money for those costs. So the $1,046,000, and I can't remember what the change is. So that's reimbursable. So every time there's a pay item on there that is related to the utilities, Palm Beach County Water Utility will reimburse us.
So that $10,000 will come
Yes,
out of
ma'am.
that? Okay.
Any additional questions? Hearing none, are you ready?
Where's that money coming from?
The reimbursement Palm Beach County Water Utilities.
Palm Beach County Water Utilities
Is reimbursing us what?
that money from what? We have an interlocal agreement with Palm Beach County Water Utilities, and as part of Barfield Highway construction, Palm Beach County had water lines and forced main lines that had to be removed. So while we were doing reconstruction to Barfield Highway, they went ahead and decided to do those water lines. So our engineer works hand in hand with Palm Beach County, and those designs worked hand in hand with Palm Beach County to make sure that the water lines were going down at the same time. If that had not occurred, we would have been tearing up a road that we just put down, and we would have been in violation of our contract with FDOT. So instead, we're doing it in unison, and Palm Beach County reimburses us any pay item that has to do with the water from that contractor.
So actually, the same money that they're giving us is what we're paying out?
Yes, ma'am. All of our funding, whether it's from FDP, FDOT, is reimbursable. We have to pay our contractors, and we get reimbursed.
But I thought we don't do that part.
No, that's part of our contract.
So we're managing their work?
It's our work. It's our projects.
Yeah, it's our project, but they're covering the water and utility lines or whatever.
Palm Beach County owns the water. They own the utility line. So it's in conjunction. As I said, if we had not done that, Barfield Highway, if we would have waited to after we had completed Barfield Highway, Palm Beach County came along and said, oh, we got forced mains that aren't working, that we need to reinstall. We would have had to tear up the road. That money, we would have had to pay for to redo the road. FDOT was not going to reimburse us for tearing up a road that they had given us money for.
So in other words, we are paying this, we are paying for it from the money that the water, the Palm Beach County Water, it's giving us for the project.
Yes, ma'am. We
So
have
it
to.
is getting paid.
We
from
pay.
our money.
We pay Rosso. I submit the payout to Palm Beach County. They turn around and reimburse us the money.
Excuse me, for the sake of our transparency, can we have that documentation at some point?
The payouts.
Yeah, and the reimbursement. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any additional questions? Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Mervin,
Yes.
Commissioner Bolden,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner Perez,
Sure.
Mayor Bab.
Yes, thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Motion passed by unanimous vote. Now we move to Resolution 2022-41, City Attorney.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. 22-41, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee, Florida for approval of change order number 8 to Resolution 2021-02 pertaining to the Florida Department of Transportation FDOT contract G-1753 number 442030-01-54-1 Barfield Highway Reconstruction Project as set forth in Exhibit A, providing for an effective date.
Thank you, Madam City Attorney. City Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. Just 1 second here. There's a lot of backup on this one. This is change order number 8. This change order is for Barfield Highway reconstruction. It is compensation to Rezo Site Development, building a concrete slope pavement at the Pelican Canal Culvert. The contract plans were for use of miscellaneous asphalt as the finished surface on the slope areas of the culvert wall at the Pelican Canal. Russell Development has agreed to perform the work using the statewide average unit price for the pay unit 524-2-2. Excuse me. Concrete slope pavement, non-reinforcement 4 inches as a negotiated settlement for compensation. Russell Site Development is entitled to 100% of the unit price of $144.56 per square yard of slope pavement. Total amount is $23,129.60. Excuse me. Thanks. There's an additional 4 days granted with this change order number 8 per the request of the contractor's proposal. That is it, Mayor.
Thank you, City Manager. City Commission, having had Resolution 2022-41 properly read into the minutes by our City Attorney and properly explained by our City Manager, what is your pleasure?
Mayor, I move that we will accept Resolution 2022-41.
A second.
It has been moved by Vice Mayor Mervin and properly seconded by Commissioner Bolden for the adoption of Resolution 2022-41. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready?
I wanna get it on record. This is covered by FDOT, not by the city.
It's right here.
Yes, ma'am, that 23,000 and whatever it is will be covered by FDOT. And in your documents, you should have, if it's not in there, I'll get it to you, an email where there's concurrency for both Palm Beach County Water Utility for that one, for change order number 7, and for FDOT. There should be a concurrency email.
Any additional questions? Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Mervin?
Yes.
Commissioner Bolden?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Commissioner Perez?
Yes.
Mayor Bab?
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Motion passed by unanimous vote. Now we'll move to Resolution 2022-42. City Attorney.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee, Florida, authorizing the mayor and the city manager to enter into and execute the 17th addendum to the Law Enforcement Service Agreement between the City of Pahokee and Rick L. Bradshaw, Sheriff of Palm Beach County, Florida. Attached hereto is Exhibit A, providing for adoption of representation, providing for an effective date.
Thank you, Madam City Attorney. City Manager.
This 17th addendum to the law enforcement service agreement is made by and between the City of Pahokee and Rick L. Bradshaw, Sheriff of Palm Beach County. The impact I was looking for my number on here.
$582.46.
Okay, so on page 143, beginning October 1 through September 30th, there'd be a total of $582,466 with monthly payments of $48,538.83, with the last payment being $48,538.87. Staff recommends approval of this resolution.
Thank you, City Manager. City Commission, having had our city attorney properly read the resolution into record and having our city manager properly explain, what is your pleasure?
Mayor Bab, I move to accept resolution 2022-42.
Second.
It has been moved by Commissioner Bolden and properly seconded by Commissioner Gonzalez for the adoption of resolution 2022-42. Call for questions. Hearing
When
none.
does this agreement expire? Is this for 1 year? When is the old one expired and when does this one?
September 30, 2023.
Started in 06,
Started October 1st, 2022.
even October 1, 22, and ending on September 30, 23.
Any additional questions? Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Bolden?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mervin?
Yes.
Commissioner Perez?
Yes.
Mayor Bab?
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Resolution passed by a majority. I'm saying unanimous vote. Now we move to resolution 2022-43, City Attorney.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee, Florida, approving an agreement between 2SDW and Associates, Inc. and the City of Pahokee for Phase 1 for the replacement and installation of new sidewalks, providing for adoption of representation, providing for an effective date.
Thank you, Madam City Attorney. City Manager.
This is from our RFP 2021-1 Phase 1 of replacement and installation of new sidewalks. This was advertised on the 24th of September through to the 31st. That's not right.
Sure isn't.
It was August. It was August.
What's the information?
August.
I thought it was August.
It was August.
That was the title, sorry, 24th of August. The 31st of September.
It's
Oh,
August,
yeah.
right?
Yes, that's all.
Sorry, Commissioners. It's the 24th through the 30th, 31st. In the Palm Beach Post. The submitted RFP was received on 9th of September 2022 and was opened at the Commission Chambers on the 13th of September 2022 for the RFP 2022-1. The RFP is for sidewalks along Begonia Drive. The linear length of the sidewalks on both sides of the street is 1,300 square feet area. The NTP will be issued after the contractor has submitted all the required permits and documentations. The Community and Economic Development Department has verified all license and documentation submitted by 2 SBW and Associates. Budget impact, the proposed cost is $104,275.18. And this will be covered by surtax dollars. Staff recommends approval of this contract to 2 SBW and Associates.
Thank you, City Manager. City Commission, having had Resolution 2022-43 properly read into the minutes by our City Attorney, properly explained by our City Manager, what is your pleasure?
Mayor Bear, I move that we will accept Resolution 2022-43.
Second.
It has been moved by Vice Mayor Mervin and properly seconded by Commissioner Gonzalez for the adoption of Resolution 2022-43. Call for questions.
Yeah, I have a question. Is this the same RFP 2020-06?
The same as what, the last time or something, or?
The same as 2020-06. That was for sidewalks as well. Same verbiage and everything. And if it is, or if it isn't, what happened to the other streets that were supposed to have all those sidewalks?
Yes, ma'am, that is, we had to put out a new RFP because we only had $100,000 and the amount of those other sidewalks exceeded that. So I've had to pull back that RFP, but we will be putting it back out. I just need to do some realignment with those dollars.
And this is for
Begonia.
1,300 linear feet,
Both sides of Begonia.
$100,000. And we're paying it with ARPA money,
No, surtax.
surtax. So that's 283 right now.
Any additional questions? Hearing none, you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Mervin,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner Bolden,
Yes.
Commissioner Perez,
No.
Mayor Bab.
Yes. Motion passed by a majority for 1 vote. Now we'll move to the next item of business, would be new business. This is gonna be up to the commissioners, cause this may take a little discussion, but hopefully we won't be discussing that at length. The first item is a discussion and direction from the City Commission on Signature Series events. I think the city manager and staff is recommending some events we're gonna be having on an annual basis and want to get some input from the commission.
Mayor Bear, I think that would be good, because I know one guy had been coming here for a couple commission meetings, I guess, to hear, because he's planning a big event for the city of Pahokee. So I think that would be good to have that one discussed tonight.
And also, Mayor and Commissioners, we have to look at things to generate revenues, to be able to sufficiently, as you guys always ask me, how are we sustaining? And this will start us into sustaining by having profitable and desired events. So I would like us to consider a 3-year relationship where we first come into it and put most of the burden on the vendor to produce, to fund, and do all those things, and then Depending on how that goes, second year, we joint venture, and then we fully participate in year 3. Or we can just take it 1 year at a time. It's you guys' call. So, but I want us to bring forth these types of events, concerts in the park, concerts at the marina, just starting these things, and whatever other ideas you guys have or bring forth. So without any further ado, Ms. Boulay Washington.
Good evening, Mayor and Commission, community members. My name is Peggy Boulay Washington. I am the Director of Community and Economic Development for this great city. I'm going to be presenting to you our fiscal year 2022 to 2023 city events. City of Pahokee is excited to roll out a series of events that will take place throughout the fiscal year of 2022 to 2023. These events will be spearheaded by the Community and Economic Development Department and supported by Parks and Recreations, Public Works, alongside various city departments. So for example, you have our finance department, our HR department. Many of these departments work with us in tandem to make sure that we have the funding, we're aligned with legality situations, and so on and so forth. So our city events at a glance. I'll just call out a few events for you. We have our community bingo night that's coming up on October 13th. We have a breast cancer awareness event coming up October 15th. We have our Pahokee Invasion of the Muck Top 5 Car and Bike Show. We have our Fall Festival, which is also family favorite. We have Veterans Day, Turkey Giveaway, Commissioners Park Memorial Event. We have a Christmas toy giveaway, Centennial Finale, MLK Parade. We have a Black History Month event, a father-daughter dance. We have the I Love Pahokee Day event. We have Great American Cleanup, the Cinco de Mayo event, Food Truck Day, Juneteenth celebration, 4th of July celebration, Back to School Bash, Black Business Month event, 9/11 memorial event, Storm of 1928 remembrance event, Jazz Festival event, and Art Walk / Art in the Park. Our upcoming events that I just wanted to mention during the ending of our fiscal year is our Storm of 1928, which just passed in September. We had our community-wide cleanup, which was this past Saturday, and then we have our PBSO National Night Out, which was postponed. So we'll be posting on our city's website with new dates for that event as well. In conclusion, how can I support City of Pahokee events? Glad you asked. The city has been fortunate to garner the support of various community leaders and partners, committees, volunteers, in-kind donations, and sponsorships. These are the things that help get our events out into our communities, to provide resources, to provide fun, and to just get us out of the house and fellowship. Okay? Funds to support city events for fiscal year 2022 to 2023 will be financially supported by the city, donations, and sponsorships. Sponsorships can translate to, as Mr. Lucas discussed with you, public and private partnerships. Donations can translate to in-kind donations, monetary donations, and so on. So if you would like more information or would like to support our events by way of donating financially or with your time, you are more than welcome to email us at events@cityofpahokee, or you can call me at 561-924-5534. Thank you for your time, and I'll open up if you have any questions.
And another thing the commission had asked to bring forth is to give consideration to rent out the marina and the campground area, and we did research on that. Are we able to present that at this time, or would that be at the October 11th meeting?
Either way is fine. Either way is fine.
'Cause
In the interest of saving time, if you would like to postpone it for the October 11th meeting, that's fine. If you would like to present the agreement, that's fine. However, I will say, for the event Invasion of the Month car and bike show, the gentleman is eager to get the ball rolling on having the event at the marina. So we would have to expedite the process to get that agreement approved so that we can start the process of allowing this organization to advertise.
Quick comment.
Sir?
Could we also consider including in, I think you mentioned a father-daughter dance, just have extend that to father, daughter, mother, son. I think we'll get a lot more participation and a lot more people involved in it. I think that'll turn out a lot better.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I would love to. And also, these dates are subject to change. As we all know, we're facing inclement weather now. So in the event that the date has to change, we would definitely inform our mayor and commission as well as our members of the public.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I may, can you
Sure.
please also add Hispanic Heritage Month on there?
Thank you for making that point. So if Hispanic Heritage Month wasn't included for this calendar because we're currently working with an organization, a community organization who wants to work in tandem with us. So we're still defining what that partnership will look like. So that's why that wasn't included. However, the city is participating in a Hispanic Heritage Month event in addition to replicating the Black Business Month event, but it will be a Hispanic Business Month event as well, so that the Hispanic businesses in our community can get the opportunity to fellowship, engage, share their thoughts, ideas, and desires for advancing their businesses with the city of Pahokee.
Excuse me, I don't know if I missed it. Was the Christmas parade and stuff included in that? Maybe I missed it, I don't know.
So for the Christmas parade, that's normally done with the Chamber of Commerce, and the city supports by way of participating. So if that language changes, then the city would then switch and take over the parade, and that would become an official event and/or a partnered event with the chamber.
Did the chamber do one last year?
Pardon?
Does anybody know if the chamber did one last year for
To
Christmas?
my understanding, I believe the last Christmas parade that was done, it was spearheaded by the chamber.
Last year?
Was it last year or the year before? I think last year we're still in the pandemic. Was it the year before?
The year before.
The year before. Was it last year? Okay, I'm sorry. I misspoke. It was last year.
Okay.
This-
Guess I'll speak on that later.
Okay, so yes, it was last year. And it was spearheaded by the chamber and the city just working in tandem with the chamber.
Yeah.
I have a question as far as renting the marina. Is the marina being rented out? Has it been renting out?
Not to my knowledge. I know that
That's why we coming forward now. We're coming forward with a slate of a matrix that you can rent out as a vendor, partnership, semi-partnership. They have an array of dollar amounts for us to consider.
Talking about the inside.
it is included in that package.
We want to roll out, because one of the things the commission said was to do a study on the Marina Conference Room the marina parking lot and going down towards the not campground, was a picnic area.
So the events that have been happening there, have they paid to use the premises? Or they just
Yes.
have been given permission to use the premises?
Since I've been here, we just have hosted the events. We haven't let a vendor be dominant and rent from us because it hasn't been allowed. So we're waiting to turn the keys over once you guys give your blessing.
You aware
She's
that there
talking
was
about,
parties
no,
there?
Mr. Lucas, let's clear. She's talking about the conference room, and all of your answers to your question is yes. Yes, payment, yes, application been signed.
It had not been approved, so how
Yes,
did you
payment
have
and
it?
application been
And
signed and
before
on,
you, there was
on
event
file.
there as well. Before you, there was event there as well.
What event was there?
I don't remember what was going on there, but
That
there
was
was
the
an event
employee,
there.
that was employee baby shower.
No, I was there at the baby
It was an
shower.
event where they had canopies where business people could go there and put their brochures and.
Oh, you're talking about the black-owned business. That was part of the
No,
city
prior
event.
to that.
I'm not black. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I have blood, but I-
Okay, we're gonna move on, but I
Move
just.
on,
Quick question.
Okay.
Does that include the gymnasium? Because I know we had a discussion about,
Yes.
Okay.
So they-
Then so it was in play was the, you guys said no to the pool. You said yes to renting out the conference room at the marina, parking lot, and picnic area, the parks, and the gym.
Yes. And then for the marina, we also included the actual grounds because that's what will also generate revenue for us in renting the marina. So we do not want to just limit ourselves to renting the actual physical structure, but the land itself too. So that gives us an advantage because our marina is uniquely placed in this beautiful city. And we want to make sure that we take advantage of the opportunities that are presenting itself for us to generate revenue into the city.
So for the sake of time, add on Harbor Master as well. What we do is, if with the commission's permission, we can bring it back October 11th. That way we're not rushed. And then that gives us time to give you all the numbers and you can say, I like this rate, not that rate. We break it down, what's the deposit amounts. And in the meantime, we can lock that young man in and then get the contract to him that week of the 11th after you get it approved.
can,
Sir.
There's some discussion to have about the Harbor Master, but the Harbor Master North grounds and the Harbor Master immediate grounds, I think is how it's worded, are included, but it's just a conversation.
I thought it was a whole thing.
About the Harbor Master.
Whatever you bring, let's bring it to them on the 11th.
Okay.
do we have time for him to say something?
Exactly, yeah, because he's been coming. Mr. Morrell, can we give him a couple minutes to just explain he's been coming to a commission meeting.
May I make a suggestion? When you do clean it.
No.
I'm sorry,
No.
I'm not the one
I'm
that's
sorry,
giving permission.
Commissioner, may I make a suggestion? Thank you. When we're talking about cleanup day, you're extremely articulate. If it's possible to incorporate some way, not only cleanup, but Pahokee pride. Taking pride of Pahokee.
So as opposed to community cleanup day, we would like to have Pahokee Pride Day
No.
in addition to?
I'll give you poetic license anywhere you want, as long as we include pride. Because I walk every day in the marina, and I pick up bags of garbage, and I throw them in the garbage can, and where the stuff is sitting right next to the garbage can. We need to have pride in the city.
So he's just trying to include
So,
that
okay.
into the narrative during the cleanup, yeah.
Just a suggestion,
Yeah.
that's all.
Yeah.
It is included, but I'll make sure to use the word, that way we know the language is there.
Also want to mention, this just a little premature though, but have been some discussion with an event coordinator out of Mohaven. He want to bring a cycling event to Pahokee. We're talking about thousands of folks coming to Pahokee to cycle on the lake, and it can be in conjunction with the restaurant where they can have some activity and bring some fun into the city. So we're kind of working on that. I don't know if you had a chance to follow up, but I talked to him after we tried to reach him, but he actually reached out to us to do that. He have an event in Glades County and Henry County, but he want to come to Pahokee and do it in Pahokee also.
So Mayor, I did follow up with him. He followed up with me as well. We have been in communication. The last correspondence that I sent to him, he responded that he'll get back to me. He has some prior engagements that he has to deal with. However, he is very excited about bringing this cycling event to the city. As you all know, cycling is a big thing, especially in South Florida. So bringing an event like that will definitely bring the touristic piece that we've all been screaming for. So it is a very well attended event that he's organized or has been a part of. So we are interested in seeing how we can tailor that event to the city.
Okay, thank you. We want to give you an opportunity just briefly, you comments on an event that you was looking at doing or sponsoring.
Hi everybody, I'm Morel. Pastor Morel. You can call me Morel. You can call me Lucky. I'm from here. I grew up here. Graduated from Pahokee High School. The event I'm trying to bring here, we've been doing these events for the last year. It's the top 5. The car and bike show, I'm in the top 5 on the bike side. And my co-partners are the top 5 on the car side. And we just did one in Riviera Beach, and we had a great time. It was a great turnout. We bring in cars that it's like $250,000, 73 Chevy Caprices and stuff like that. We just come to just bring money to the city. And I told them I want to have a festival at my city, because we go to Texas and all these places, and I never had nothing at my city. I want to just bring something home. You know what I'm saying? Be a part of home. I'm cold blue. I started cold blue shirts, so I'm home. Everybody in here know me, right? Oh, yeah, I know you, right?
Yeah, we know.
So we're gonna bring something home, and that's what I want to do. Just, it's gonna be a friendly event, kid friendly. Everybody come out, have fun, enjoy it, and just lay your hair back. There's so much stress in here. The tension in this place, man. And I'm just back home just to have fun, all right?
Thank you. Now we move to our next topic, which will be city projects updates. Again, I want to confer with the commission. That's something you want quickly done to update the project. I would agree. Mr. Lucas or Ms. Adams, whichever, given those major funding projects we want an update on.
It'll be a joint effort between Ms. Adams and Boulay, Washington, since there'll be a transitional transfer of the department.
Hello, I'm back. I will be presenting city projects, and the NEAT grant is what I'll be presenting. The Neighborhood Engagement and Transformation, which is the NEAT grant program, provides grants of up to $10,000 to neighborhood-based or groups and or organizations for resident-driven neighborhood improvement projects located within unincorporated Palm Beach County and the Lake Region municipalities of Belle Glade, South Bay, and truly, the city of Pahokee. Great news, guys, great news. Palm Beach County Office of Community Revitalization has awarded the city of Pahokee Parks and Recreation Department not 1, but 2 need grants. The first grant is for MLK Park. This will allow the Park and Recreation Department to procure and purchase materials to repair MLK Park. Sidewalks, restrooms, sanitation mitigation efforts, repair open pavements, and concession area. Perform exterior pressure cleaning and painting. So these things will all be included within the first, within this $10,000 grant for MLK Park. The award amount, as I just stated, was a $10,000 award. However, it is required to have a match. So the city matched it with $10,000 as well. The total project funding is $20,000. The second grant is for Commissioner's Park. This will allow Commissioner's Park to address and procure professional services to repair and make improvements to the splash pad. The award from the NEAT grant as well is $10,000. And it is also required that we have a match to it, and the match amount is $10,000 as well. So in total, the total project funding is $20,000. See you around. Throughout fiscal year 2022 to 2023, you will see activity throughout the city of Pahokee at both sites, MLK and Commissioner's Park. Both projects are expected to be completed within the coming fiscal year, which is fiscal year 2022 to 2023. Thank you for your time.
I wanted to make a suggestion on either of these grants, or maybe we could apply for a grant. If we could put containers throughout the city, maybe paint them, do some kind of slogan from the city, beautify the city with garbage cans, so that we could start getting the community into, using the garbage cans instead of the streets.
So, yes,
That's a great idea.
To your point, I did speak on that several commission meetings ago. That is one of my pet projects for our department. They're referred to as trash receptacles, and they have a steel piece, and you can wrap it. So the idea was to wrap it with artwork specific to Pahokee. And so they will be throughout the city, as well as the marina and our parks. So you will see them throughout the streets. That is one of our projects. And thank you.
And those are beautification grants, and so we're constantly looking for those beautification grants.
She mentioned the $10,000 for Martin King and City to match it, but what about the other $250,000 that we already had funded for?
It is in addition to. So the 250, it addresses one set of things, and then the 10,000 will address another set.
And Ms. Adam, we don't want to take a whole lot of time, but since we're talking about grants, the grant that we received a couple years back down for Glade Citizen Village for the playground park, are there any movement on that? Have we looked at trying to find additional funding so we can at least put some type of playground equipment out there for those kids?
So that was also a neat grant, and we would have to revisit because one of the citizens applied for the grant. The city did not apply for the grant, but we were doing the match. That match was lowered down, but I believe that with the new budget, we will have some money that we could be able to match and get us playground equipment, because we did start the process of looking for playground equipment that would fit in our budget, as well as we knew they were interested in exercise equipment for the older kids and the citizens. So we have started, we looked at those dollars. We would have to go back and reevaluate those costs.
A suggestion, maybe Morel would do some things.
Yes, he is one of the ones we discussed it with, yes. So Mr. Morel is one of the artists we discussed commissioning the artwork with, as well as another homegrown artist who works with Mr. Morel, and they worked on the Pahokee High School murals and artwork that's inside of the gym. So we're on it. Thank you.
Maybe it could be donated, and we don't have to pay for it.
All right, Ms. Adams.
All right, Commissioner. From your mouth to God's ears.
No, my mouth to his ear. He's right here.
Put you on the spot, Mario.
Come on, we got a storm coming.
In
Let's go.
consideration of time, I'm going to move forward to slide number 4. Barfield Highway, as you know, Barfield Highway is a $4.5 million, and as I just brought forward, we have several change orders that we have brought forward and will be bringing forward because it is an old road. So you will see a lot of those change orders coming forth because we're discovering a whole lot of things that were not intended to be there. Next slide. Next slide is phase 4 of our resurfacing for our streets. And phase 4 will be going out next week, so it will be advertised, and that is MLK Boulevard, MLK Boulevard, West 5th Street, West 2nd Street, West 3rd Street to Southward. And so if you've been down 3rd, actually Public Works just did some filling on 3rd because it has in the last couple of days, just with the rain, it has sunken in, and so our Public Works Department has gone to try to fill that. So we're working expeditiously to be able to get that out, so that bid will go out next week, so look for it. It should be advertised, I believe it goes in the paper on Thursday, next Thursday. So you will see that advertised, and that's scheduled for completion of 2022. So as we saw tonight, Commission, thank you for passing the S2BW contract for those sidewalks, and that was the bid came in at $104,275.18, and that was the lowest bid that we received. There was 3 bids that we received, and 2SBW was one of them. The other 2 bids that we received was Workers LLC and MGT Group. And so this project, we're hoping to begin in the middle of October, and beginning of October, and have it completed sometime in the middle, because it is 1,300 linear square feet, both sides of Begonia. So the next phase is East Lake Village area, and so we will need dollars for that. So those dollars, I'm hoping that we have surtax dollars that I will be able to use for that. A total of what it will cost to do our sidewalks throughout the city. When I added up the cost for all the sidewalks 2 years ago, it was about $1.2 million. Now with the cost of construction that has increased substantially, we're looking at close to $3 million a year to do all the sidewalks in our city.
Quickly, Begonia, when is that projected to start?
So we're hoping to start the beginning of October, which will be next week. So once 2SBW has submitted all their permits, signed the contract, NTP will be issued. Next slide. FDOT McClure reconstruction, and so as you know, that reconstruction, that project is a total reconstruction, and that is through FDOT. And so we have begun the procurement process, and we are looking at our engineer to design the scope of work, which will need to be done in order for us to do the design process before. So it is not just going out, putting a bid out for the construction. It has to be going to work plan and submitted to FDOT with how that construction will take place, what is needed for that construction. So that goes with the scope of work. So we're in the process of working with the engineers to get that done.
Working with the engineer, can you please, seems to me like if you're an engineer and you're gonna do your research or whatever, you know, you're gonna go to the last time that that road was constructed. So if it was 20 years ago, I would think that an engineer should know, you know, that pretty much everything's gonna have to be replaced so that we could include this in the bid and not come back with a changing work order because there was stuff there that we did not foresee. If you pull the last time that it was done, then you know what you're gonna need to bring it to this generation, this date. So, you know, if you're an engineer, I'm sure they know that.
Yes, ma'am. So, because all of our roads are older roads, there are things that take place that sometimes the engineer, even with Barfield Highway, they did not, and having Palm Beach County engineers looking at it, they did not anticipate. So there's going to be things that we did not foresee, the engineer may not foresee, but he pulls the plans, and also FDOT looks over those things as well. So it's not just one set of eyes that look at it, previous plans, road projects, all of that. So it is taken into consideration, all of that. So we will make sure that we get that covered.
Yeah, I know FDOT looks at it, but FDOT just reviews that what you're putting in there is what needs to be there. They don't look at what was there before and what you're putting now. That's our engineer. So that's what I'm trying to say.
Next slide. As Mr. McPherson was asking about the $250,000, that is MLK Park improvement, and that is for the Department of Environmental Protection. And right now we have a work plan that has just been submitted to FDDP. I believe it was last week that we submitted that. So we're awaiting a contract agreement from FDEP so that we can get started on that project. We can't do anything or move forward until we have that agreement from FDEP. And the city also recently, we did some interior work lighting in the restrooms of MLK Park. Next slide.
So once FDEP is done, then it goes out for bid?
Once FDEP has sent us the contract, it comes before commission for your approval. We send it back. Once we've gotten it back, then we can start the bidding procurement process. Next slide. East Lake Village Stormwater Improvement Project. That is also Florida Department.
So you did explain that it's a 7% on that 250,000, so that's 20,000. That's the total 270,000. I know you're good with numbers, so you'll be asking and trying to catch that. Just saying for the record.
Yes, we do have to have a match for that project. And as I stated before,
It's 270.
all of our projects
gotta put
are
down 20%.
reimbursable. So we have to spend the money
On the MLK.
to get reimbursed. Whether it's FDEP, FDOT, anything, we have to spend the money and we get reimbursed. So as I was saying, FDEP, East Lake Village Stormwater Improvement Project is $750,000. Reimbursements have been submitted. There was a couple of past payments that were not submitted to FDEP. So I have submitted those, so I'm waiting for reimbursement to come back so I can pay out those contractors. And so they're ready to get started. So we're hoping that in October, we can move forward now because payments have been caught up, reports have been submitted to FDEP, so we're back on track.
So there is acknowledgement from them that this is going on.
Yes, I've spoken with FDEP, submitted a report, also with MDO and Feuerbach, so they're ready to start moving.
I don't know if we can address the overgrowth that occurring there, especially now during rain season. This looks so bad. I'm not sure if we as a city, our public works, somebody need to at least look at that and see if they can address that.
Okay, and I have been out there, Public Works has been out there, so I'm hoping that with equipment, we'll be able to adjust some of that before we get in there and start working.
That is kind of dangerous. Because the water is covered with that trees, which if a kid throws a ball, they're gonna assume that that's grass and they're gonna fall in the canal. So that is very dangerous.
Those photos are recent. One thing I do want to say, and I've stressed that the last time, was we need our community to not dump in East Lake because that impedes upon the construction. So when they're out there working, even now, if there's an area for them to dump, they need to dump in that area, not in the areas where the drains are, where the canals are, or while construction is taking place. So we've had that happen before, so we want to stress to the community, please, please, please do not do that.
Well, you know that's the trailers that are around it. So maybe you could get with the property owner and, and get them to designate areas where they could put the bulk trash, and that would, stop them from dumping.
There is a designated area, but I noticed the last couple of days, there was like a bulk, and then you go further down, and there's some more, and it's like it's just thrown there and dumped there.
Yeah, on this side right here, this area here, we kept clean. We kept it clean down to the tip where we use our Z-Track mowers to keep it clean. We kept it clean until this company came in and started digging, and it came from out of this neighborhood and started dumping all this concrete and asphalt and everything. That's why it's like that. So we couldn't cut around it or whatever. That's why you got all this grass and stuff going up around it. That's why it looked like this. We kept that clean.
Yeah,
So when the
I have
project
video, I saw
Yeah,
that.
when the project was stopped in the middle, it was hard for them to move it, so they stopped working.
Who does the property belong to?
East Lake is Crosby Park, I believe it is. Crosby Trailer Park.
I think it was sold again.
Yeah, so sold again.
It's referred to legally as a attractive nuisance, and that's a general liability lawsuit that's huge.
But we know that unless they assume.
They'll get sued.
I've got one observation with all this improvement. Driving around town, there's a lot of streets that have no signs.
We're working on that, and so our Public Works Department has put up signs. We put them up, they come down. Even before the last hurricane, after I believe it was Irma, we put up signs. A couple of weeks later, the signs were down. So we really need our community to work with us. For whatever reason they want to take down signs, it hurts us, but we do need our community to work with us.
Maybe we could put cameras.
Yeah, maybe cameras or something.
We need to start, the only way to stop people from reoccurring doing things they're not supposed to is when they get away with it.
Okay. Next project is next slide, project 647. This will also be bidded out will be advertised in the paper next week, and that's $80,000. For those that have asked about this funding from SWA has already dispersed $40,000 to us. So the $40,000 is sitting there. Once we start moving with the project, we get the other $40,000. So I've heard that asked before. So it is $40,000 that is still sitting in the account. Next slide.
What's the projection date on getting that started?
So because it's a small project, we're hoping that same thing. Once we bring it to commission, we put it out for bid from 14 to 15 days, we bring it to commission. You approve the contract, we can turn around and get it done. So I'm hoping by, this is October, middle of November, we can have it down.
Okay.
Thank you all. Any more questions?
Yeah, just quickly, these are not directly our project, but I need an update on them. The Marina Restaurant, when is that projected to open? And do we have a date? Did they share that with us?
They were in my office yesterday, and they just hired officially a chef, and they were trying to get the staff hired up. So it's taking a moment for that. So they're projecting Halloween time as their goal.
And Everglades Townhome project. And they say when they're waiting
So-
on us to sign off on something, they're ready to get to work, so that's what I'm hearing. I'm not saying it's true or not, but that's what they get.
Well, Mr. Snodgrass, I've been in contact with him. He was here, then he went back to Missouri. So we'll be talking hopefully by Thursday. So I can, because I want to do a groundbreaking, and then he was waiting for interest rates to adjust or go down, because that meant more expenditure on the type of money you needed to borrow for the project.
And my last quick question, the lighting on the pier for those seniors.
So we're waiting for weather permitting. We have the scissor lifts. Also, I've been in contact with Housing Authority. They have some temporary lights we can put up. We can put them on the end, so at least we have some lighting. But we gotta see how this weather's gonna be. So you should be able to see some at least temporary lighting this week, sir. As soon as this weather breaks.
And I guess I lied. My last question is the potholes throughout the community that we was originally gonna fill some kind of way. We just stopped. One of them was Begonia. We're gonna be addressing that, but it's some other, Clarissa, even the street next to it. Just have a lot of big potholes, the trucks, and not trucks, but cars having to maneuver around them.
So there's where we can use surtax money and ARPA money. So we got to kind of, we're close to getting this nailed out with the ARPA. I think we're close. I'd like to think we're close. We'll see how it goes to use that funding.
I guess while we're at it, Cypress and Banyan, that little steep, it's like a little steep decline, and it's very hard to get through there. Is there something that we can do pretty soon to?
It's Cypress.
Yeah, it eats your body with truck.
That's Cypress.
Yeah.
You can tear your car. Just
Habitat House on Cypress.
So Cypress is the next one, because there's one on Begonia. Then where's the other?
Cypress is the one right by the hospital.
Oh, over, okay, okay. Over by 200 South Barfield.
It's like 4th and Cypress?
Fourth.
4th and Cypress.
Fourth and Cypress.
Where George has a hardware store.
Yeah, okay, so it's over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Lucas, the road you're talking about is steep. You take a F-150, go down there, and then scrape the bottom.
It scraped my truck.
That road need reconstruction going down in there. For some reason, it was leveled off, but next thing you know, it took a big dip.
Yeah, I mean, like
Took
this.
a big dip, both sides, on both sides.
On 4th and Cypress.
Right.
All right, we're gonna get through really short.
We're talking about the streets, so with phase four has been our last phase of 210 money that we have gotten for resurfacing. We're not sure if we're gonna get a new phases for the upcoming legislative year, but, so we will have to look at using whether it's surtax dollars or if we could use ARPA dollars in order for us to fix those roads. So Cypress, Begonia, they're different, so that's our options.
Could we ask the people on Barfield Highway, it's turned into a whole city again? Can they
Level
grade
it
it
off
off
or-
or something?
Okay.
I mean,
I'll talk to James about that.
Not lipstick, your service?
Okay, we're gonna move now quickly to the mayor's report and gonna be really brief. I just wanna emphasize, and everyone already know, we are currently on a tropical storm warning in Palm Beach County. We're outside of the corn, but there still would be a lot of rain, possible flooding, some thunderstorms, and other things we have to be concerned with. The storm have slightly shifted east. I mean, it's getting a little closer to us, but it's still within 30 miles of the cone. Please,
80-mile-an-hour winds.
please be safe and continue to stay out of harm's way. The City of Pahokee top priority is the safety and well-being of our staff, our residents, and our businesses. The city of Pahokee, as you heard, will be closed tomorrow, as well as Palm Beach County offices, as well as the public schools in Palm Beach County. So we're just asking everybody to be mindful and prepare and protect yourself. And that will conclude my mayor's report. Now we'll move to the city manager.
I guess, Ms. Peggy?
Sir?
What's the status of ARPA committee? Is it they're gonna move forward, or? I see that I had the printouts that I passed out to the commissioners, but were they gonna do one more meeting and then we start merging all these things together? And
No, sir, we are geared up and ready to go. We have our committee, they were able to meet successfully. We had quorum the last 2 times that the committee met, and we met with Ms. Gemma, our city advisor for ARPA. She's the legal advisor for ARPA, and she was able to reiterate many of the points that were made during our last ARPA meeting. And she also provided a lot of clarification for us and direction that the committee could take with different initiatives and fund options. And so the following meeting, which was this past Friday, the committee was able to meet, hash out some talking points, and we came up with two ARPA criteria, or areas rather, and then it has a breakdown. So if it pleases the commission, we can present tonight or table it for the next commission meeting.
We can table it, but we do have recommendations from the ARPA committee that we're
It's right on the
gonna
slide behind you.
do our best to incorporate that into the funding.
Yes, and I just want to just take, if I may, just take a few seconds to say thank you so much to our ARPA committee. We worked tirelessly, and although we didn't always agree, but everyone came to the common goal of this is what we want for Pahokee. And I am so proud to say I've been part of this process. And when Ms. Lindo or Dr. Wallace is able to present, they will present. So again, thank you so much. Thank you to our chair, Ms. Linda Joseph, our vice chair, Dr. Patricia Wallace, our secretary treasurer, Staff President Calvin Williams, and our ARPA members, Ed Burnell, we have Regina Bowman, we have Ms. Gail Love, we have other members that were here, Tamara Dowdell, we have Nelson Lopez, we have Josie Hernandez, or Josefa Hernandez, and am I missing anybody?
Mark.
Oh yes, of course, we have our beloved Carl Morrison Senior, who has been part of the committee. Okay, thank you so much, Mayor. Thank you, Commission. We appreciate your time, and we look forward to presenting next commission meeting.
Mayor Bax, respectfully, I came here a little late because I was printing something up. If you would honor me with just 3 minutes on some comments that I wrote regarding the recommendations that I received from Ms. Bolay yesterday. Could you put all that for me?
I'm gonna have to refer that to the commission as a whole. I know we are in.
I came here late because I was printing this up. I was putting up shutters.
Yeah.
I'm taking this seriously.
I'm sorry, just to clarify, the recommendation wasn't received. Mr. Brunel wanted to add a point of clarification to the sewer piece, and so I believe this is what we need to present on.
That's basically.
Okay, so it's the sewer piece. He wants to separate the two. He wants to distinguish the two and as one of the points.
Commission, I just need to get a consensus that that's okay. I
good
know we
with
got
it.
a storm out there,
Let
but
the minute, 3
okay.
minutes,
I'm
is
okay with
3
it.
minutes.
We'll let
The
it.
time, you put up-
Oh, yeah, we'll do that then.
Yeah.
Put on the timer, it's okay with me.
All right.
Please keep in mind that the committee has their previous pieces to vote on. So Mr. Brunel is providing a piece of clarification. He wants to distinguish
Let him,
between
you
sewer.
messing with his time.
I just want to make sure.
All right, start again, That's not fair.
All right, go ahead, sorry.
Respectfully and thank you. Okay?
Thank you, Mr. Brunel.
When we met with him 2 weeks ago, okay, Jim, we came with 3 specific things.
Can you state your name and address, please?
I'm so sorry, Eduardo Burnell, 1221 Bacon Point Road. 3 items, infrastructure, because of our roads are in such difficult conditions. Converting the 50 residents that pay city and sewage from septic tank to city sewer. And the third one was possibly converting condemned homes into sellable properties, a little at a time, demolishing, building, selling them. Something with Ms. Boland brought to our attention. And it appears that from the email that I got from Ms. Millage, I see 13 different items. And what concerned me was, again, I understand housing, but under infrastructure, we talk street lights, we talk signs, we have 2 street lights in the city, I believe. One over there and one over here. Drain storms, stormwater, sewers. Again, at the last meeting, we had a discussion between households and homeowners. And I just want a clarification that a sewer is a sewer and septic tanks being attached to the city is a different animal altogether. I'm getting close to my 3 minutes? No, I got a minute left, okay? Again, to go from 3 issues to 13, again, that's not what we signed up for at the last meeting with Jim, is that correct?
Well, thank you for your summary, but there's some misguided points here.
Well, let me finish
Yeah,
your minutes and
okay.
then you
I
tell
think
me
we're
whatever
asking
you want.
questions, so I can provide clarification. Go ahead.
Okay, and then lastly, given the hurricane and the situation, I took it very seriously. I've got my shutters up. Lake Pahokee, 690 square miles, 9 feet, hot water. It could turn this way. It's serious. And I felt that, and I told Ms. Boland and several people that it's dangerous to be out today, and people really should take precautions because I want everyone to be safe. Thank you for allowing me respectfully to make this comment. Yes?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I have 16 minutes, 16 seconds. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Quickly, Ms. West.
Yes. So just to provide clarification, this is Mr. Brunel's take on a summary of what Ms. Gemma provided to us. And also keep in mind that the email that I shared with the entire committee as well as our chair is a summary of, actually is the actual decision that the ARPA committee voted on. Unfortunately, Mr. Brunel had to leave prior to the vote. And so this is the reason why I emailed everyone following that Friday to make sure we were on the same page and everyone was invited to share any input. However, with the understanding that this is what was voted on with the committee members that were present during this last meeting on Friday. Okay?
But
Thank you.
There's the sure.
Yes, and I did notate that also, and I did send an email to our chairperson with Mr. Brunel's suggestion and point of clarification.
Okay, thank you.
I gave everyone this.
I have it, thank you. Yes, sir.
City man, do you have a quick report or you just want to? Okay, great. City attorney, you have anything?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, very briefly, I wanted to make the commission aware that there is a case that was existing. It wasn't turned over with the transfer report, but it did pop up on a calendar for the court, and it's entitled, well, first of all, I'm asking that that the city dismiss it. It's entitled Regina Boland, Vice Mayor of the City of Pahokee, and the City of Pahokee as plaintiff versus the Committee for the Recall of the City of Pahokee Commissioner Regina Boland and Sanquetta Cowan, Chair of the Recall Committee, and the Supervisor of Elections is joined in the lawsuit as well. It was filed in December of 2021, and in my opinion, it's a moot issue at this point, and I'm asking for permission from the commission to have this case dismissed.
Okay.
What case is it?
It was a case, I believe, against the recall committee and included, that was filed by the previous city attorney. So that issue's done and gone, so she's asking for permission to dismiss it. So if we get entertain a motion to that effect, we take a quick vote and move on.
I'm asking for a motion on it so that I can dismiss the case. Otherwise, it will be called up and it's going on a trial calendar, and I don't think it's even a moot. I think it's a moot issue at this point, and so it would just be a unnecessary expense for the city to keep litigating the case.
There's a motion.
Mary, I make a motion that we will dismiss the case said from the city attorney, Regina Boland versus the recall committee.
I second.
Okay, it's been moved by Vice Mayor Mervin and properly seconded by Commissioner Bolden for the dismissal of that case. Call for questions.
I don't, what is the case about? Who was suing who?
I'm sorry, is there a question?
Regina?
Yes.
City of Pahokee.
So Commissioner Perez wants to know the gist of who was suing who.
Okay, sure. It's the City of Pahokee and Regina Boland. It says Vice Mayor. Now, I guess I don't necessarily know that that's even really allowable in this case because it would kind of be in her personal capacity. But anyway, it would be Regina Boland and the City of Pahokee as the plaintiff suing the recall committee, which would include Sanquetta Cowan is the chair of the recall committee and the supervisor of elections. And the lawsuit was to request declaratory and injunctive relief. Basically, it was asking whether or not it was proper for the recall committee to have brought the action that they brought to try to exclude Regina Boland from the ballot based on having violated sunshine laws and having, a number of other things that were alleged complaint that they were asking for the judge to make a determination on as to whether the recall was justifiable. And so, given the outcome of the election, and there is no immediate need, it was also for injunctive relief because it was deemed at the time to be something that was immediate and it needed, it was urgent, and the judge and the city and and Commissioner Boland were asking for this to be an immediate determination. So that's obviously, it's a moot issue at this point. So those were the two issues that were brought in the lawsuit, asking for a declaratory judgment and also for an injunction.
Thank you. Any additional questions? Hearing none, are you ready for a vote, Commissioner? City Clerk?
Vice Mayor Mervin?
Yes.
Commissioner Bolden?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Wow. I don't even know how to vote on this. I don't even know what's going on this one.
What was the purpose of the recall? I don't understand.
Mayor, may I speak?
this out some part of the recall? For those who have amnesia right now?
Yeah, we read it in the middle of, vote,
Okay,
I'm
but
sorry.
they need to be drilled.
Yeah,
They were all on the board when this went down.
it's, mute.
Yeah, this is when you
Yes,
guys
yes,
try
yes.
to get her out, saying that, yeah,
We're in the middle of a vote, y'all.
saying that we
Continue
violated
with
the
the roll
sunshine
call.
law
Commissioner Gonzalez?
that the
Yes.
city
No.
orchestrated for us.
Commissioner
No.
Perez?
I don't mind people
That
speaking,
ain't
but we're in the middle of a vote. It's either yay or nay
Commissioner
Yeah.
on
Perez?
dismissing it.
Yeah.
Mayor Bab?
Yes. Motion passed by unanimous vote.
pass anyway,
Case will be
so.
dismissed. It's mute. Thank you, City Attorney. Any additional items?
No, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, quickly, Commissioners, give you an opportunity to make closing comments. And I'll start with Commissioner Gonzalez.
Thank you. Everybody's aware we have a storm coming our way. I just pray that that storm doesn't hit us directly. And I want everybody to be safe, check up on your neighbors, bring in your pets, play it safe, and drive safe. That's about it.
Thank you. Commissioner Bowden?
He said everything I was gonna say.
Commissioner Perez?
I would say if you don't have nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all. So, your turn.
Vice Mayor?
I also agree with Commissioner Gonzalez. One thing I do want to add, though, I have right here in my hand 177 emails that people in the city still sends back and forth to the state. This is why we can't move forward. Every time we try to move an inch forward, we have people sending garbage to the state, trying to sabotage what's going on in your city. This is why we can't move forward right here. This is why. Every commission meeting, we have residents just stuff that don't even make any sense at all. You know, for a pipe that has rust on it, they send it to the state. You know, this is why we cannot move forward. This is why this is really sad. It's a really sad thing that we cannot work together, and we gotta try to find a way to put this stuff behind us. You hear the city manager, no one's here trying to steal money, sabotage money from the city. We're trying to move the city in the right direction. The marina is not the only asset of the city of Pahokee. It's the whole Pahokee that we have to work with. But we need to stop this. This is really, it's really sad that everything we do, we have people that don't even live here in the city that listens to this and saying every little thing to try to sabotage the city of Pahokee. You know, it's really crazy. It's really crazy. I just want to, this is not even all of them. This is just 177 of them. It's really sad, but we need to stop that. This is why we cannot move forward right here. This is why, and it's really sad. It's really sad. Good night, Mayor.
Thank you. At this time, I entertain a motion for the adjournment of the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. Been moved by Commissioner Perez, properly seconded by Commissioner Gonzalez for the adjournment of the meeting. Call for question, hearing none. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Perez?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Commissioner Bolden?
No.
No. What?
Commissioner Bolden?
You said no once.
Come on, I
We
said
gotta finish out the vote.
Yes, all yes.
Okay. Vice Mayor Mervin
Yes.
and Mayor Bab.
Thank you. Motion passed. Meeting
I only want to show you right now. Put back. You know,